everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. I am here with my Borrowathon wrap-up. I can sufficiently say that the Borrowathon definitely helped get me out of a little bit of a reading slump that I was in. I was struggling, guys, with my reading, and nothing was kind of working for me. And I honestly kind of blame it on the School for Good and Evil series. I really stalled out on book 3, which I did get from the library, thought I might be able to finish for this Borrowathon, and definitely have not. I'm still going to finish it, but not for this particular reading challenge. So I'm going to go through what I read for this particular reading challenge and let you guys know what from my original TBR made it and what did not, because I did decide to go against some of my books. Now, I also did have to return a lot of my books to the library already, so I don't have everything with me. I'm going to pull up my Goodreads because I read a lot just recently. I'm pretty sure I read 9 books, 10 books maybe, this past week. So I am actually filming this on Saturday afternoon at 2:30. So I have an entire day and a half to continue to read, but I do have a busy rest of my weekend, and I just figured I would go ahead and film this. So if I finish anything else, I will definitely let you guys know, and I will just note that down in the description box below. But let's go over what I did read. I've got my Goodreads up, and let's talk about them. So first up was Stars Above, which was the novella series from Marissa Meyer. I did not like it. I didn't find any value in any of those novellas until the last one, which was like the wedding everybody was talking about. Prior to that, all the novellas had just been in-depth looks at like particular characters, but from past novels. If it didn't fit into that novel, it wasn't necessary. I just didn't like it. I really thought that it was going to be an after the last book kind of a look at things, and it wasn't, and that just annoyed me. So maybe it was my fault for not understanding exactly what this set of novellas was supposed to be, but I just did not like it. However, the last novella with the wedding did save this for me, and I ended up giving it a 3-star rating. Otherwise, it would have been a 1 or a 2. Then I read Witches by Scott Snyder. This was a graphic novel, and this did do my graphic novel requirement. I did not like Witches. I know that that was one of the ones that you guys recommended to me when I was asking for different graphic novel recommendations, but I just didn't enjoy it. I think I might have just spoiled myself by starting with Saga, and nothing's kind of living up to Saga. I didn't like it enough to continue with that particular graphic novel series, so mwah, mwah, mwah. Then I read Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer, which was a graphic novel, obviously a continuation of the Lunar Chronicles series, and this one followed Aiko, and I loved it. I did not really care for the color scheme or the artwork in it, but I really did like the plot, and I will definitely be continuing with that graphic novel series. I thought it was a lot of fun and a much better look into the storyline and what I was really kind of hoping from the novellas that I didn't get. So I was really glad to read that one, and that one I gave 4 stars, which is, by the way, I gave 3. The artwork was cool in it, and it was like definitely dark and twisty, but I just didn't really like love the plot. It jumped around a lot. Like the timeline of it jumped with like no change in art or anything to like signify it. I wasn't a fan. Then I read a 4-star book. I read By Your Side by Casey West, which means I've officially read a Casey West book, and she's no longer an author I own but haven't read, which is good. This one's fulfilled my in a library, and it also fulfilled my favorite color on the cover because it does have teal writing on it. And this one was cute. I gave it 4 stars. It was a sweet story about a girl that gets locked in a library over a long weekend with a guy. And at first I was like, there's no way. You know, they didn't have cell phones, or they didn't have a way to contact anybody, or, you know, whatever. I was right. There's not. Like, there's no way to get stuck in today's day and age in a building and not be able to signal for help. However, Casey West kind of made it okay. You know, she wrote it into the storyline where you kind of understand it. So all in all, I ended up really, really enjoying it. And yeah, it was cute. Then I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which was a recommended to me book, a new to me author. This book was so phenomenal. I gave it 5 stars, I believe. Did I? Yes, I did. I don't know why I had to look down to check that. I have a full review of that up, and I will link that up above. It was amazing. I'm not going to do it justice in this video. Just know that I really think that you should read it. It is a touching, moving piece that is so valid and so important, and I adored it. Then I read Under the Never Sky, which I read in audio format. I do have the physical book, but I read it in audio format from my Overdrive app, which is a library app. So I was able to listen to that, and I do have the second one already on my phone ready to roll because I'm enjoying the series. It started off really slow. It was hard for me to get into, and I think it was because the world building was difficult to like visualize while listening. I think I might have been able to process it better if I'd been reading it, but once I had that down, I flew through it. And I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series in audiobook as well. And that's by Veronica Rossi, by the way, and I ended up giving that 3 stars. Again, it was really hard to get into, but once I did, I ended up enjoying it. It just kind of falls into that dystopian sci-fi tropes. Wasn't as original as I wish it could have been, but I think it's got potential. I'm hoping that the rest of the series really takes it and pushes it a little further. Then I read Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I also read this in audiobook. So this was my classic for the month that I wanted to read, and it's in my car because I thought I might read it at work, and I didn't. I read it in audiobook from the library and really enjoyed it that way. I think it was like easier to visualize the world. There wasn't enough difference between the Disney version and the book that made it like difficult to stay involved in. Like there was no glaring differences. At least for me, I was able to listen to it and really enjoy it. So it wasn't nearly as dark as I thought it was going to be. In fact, my next book that I talk about is a lot darker, but I really did enjoy it, and I gave Peter Pan 4 stars. I also gave Tiger Lily 4 stars. This is by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This is a new to me author, and another one that had been recommended to me by a lot of people. And this was a focus on Tiger Lily, still set in Neverland, but from Tink's perspective. And I just thought it was so cool. Very dark. That Peter Pan man is a lady killer. Like, all the ladies love him. I just found myself super drawn to this particular version of the stories and really enjoyed it. So if you have any interest in Peter Pan, wanted to know a little bit more about Tiger Lily, who you don't get too much of from in the original works, this one was a really cool look at her and her life and just a little bit more of Neverland. So I loved this book. And then I also listened to The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and this is a gorgeous edition that I got for myself from Barnes & Noble, and I love it. It does have little illustrations inside of it. The audiobook of this is really cute, and it's just easy to listen to, and I've been enjoying it. It's definitely an older audiobook because it says like this disc over and then disc 5, so you could tell it's been transferred from like audio CD or something. Enjoyed the reread just as much as I did when I read it the first time, so this is still a 5-star read for me. I just think it's so interesting to reread things as an adult. So I actually got 2 classics down this month. I got Peter Pan and The Secret Garden, and I'm really excited about that and in terms of my diverse reading. 9 books is not bad in a week, considering I'm stopping a day and a half early. Like I said, I do have The School for Good and Evil that I'm still reading. I don't think I'm going to finish that in the next day and a half. That's been my Borrowathon wrap up for this particular reading challenge. I will be participating in the Tome Topple. My TBR for that is either coming up or is already up, and that is April 7th, I think it starts, to the 20th, I believe. So look forward to that. I am excited to just kick this reading slump in the butt and do some reading challenges and really just try to get myself back into reading because that slump sucked so hard. So 9 books in 6 days, not bad. I'm pretty proud of myself. I hope that you guys had just as successful a Borrowathon as I did. I hope you read some amazing books. Again, check out my full review, non-spoilery, on The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas to know a little bit more about that. And comment down below, let me know how your TBR went for your Borrowathon. If you liked this video, give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.